All right, good evening, everybody. I am pleased to announce that at approximately 11 a.m. today, 32-year-old Gene Robert Masayan was arrested for the murders of Terry and Brenda Altman. He was contacted and arrested outside of his residence in Orlando, Florida. Masayan has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Masayan arrived here by bus on Saturday and left our city on Sunday by unknown means. He's currently being questioned by investigators in Orlando, but I do not have the details of that interview. Evidence has been recovered, but unfortunately I cannot go into the specifics of the evidence that has been recovered. So unfortunately there are still a lot of unanswered questions, and some of the details I'm just not going to be able to go into at this time as the investigation continues. But the main purpose for this press conference today is to inform the residents of this city and the visitors of this city that the suspect responsible for committing these heinous crimes is in custody, in hopes that everyone can now breathe a sigh of relief. I also want to thank all of our law enforcement partners at this time for their support. I want to thank the U.S. Marshal Service, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and the Orlando Police Department for assistance in apprehending the suspect today. I also want to thank the Volusia Sheriff's Office for their assistance in actively pursuing the suspect, looking for the suspect in the previous days leading up to today. And I most definitely want to thank my team of investigators that's standing up here behind me, because they literally put in 105 hours of a relentless pursuit of this suspect. And I think I got the best team in the business. I put my team up against anybody, and I can't thank them enough. I also want to thank the residents of that beachside over there. I had a couple community meetings this week, and they were extremely supportive. So I also want to thank those beachside residents. Up here with me is also some family, and Brenda's daughter, Sarah, would like to say a few words at this time. So I'm going to step aside and let Sarah come up.
I didn't prepare to say anything because this is a nightmare that I never expected could ever happen. This isn't real. It doesn't feel real, and I don't think it will ever feel real. I lost my best friend. My mother was the most amazing, caring, giving, loving, selfless person in the world. And to top it off, she was as funny as could be, and so was her husband. They were both wonderful and happy and loving, and they didn't deserve what happened to them. And I just want to thank every single one of you for all of the work you put in to help get this person off the street. I'm sorry, he's not a person, a monster. Get this monster off of the street so that nobody else would get hurt or have to deal with the pain and the destruction that this has caused so many people's lives that knew them. Yeah, just thank you guys so much, and I really don't know what else to say, but please just keep our family in your thoughts and prayers, and that'll be it for you. Thank you.
So again, I just want to highlight, because I've mentioned this already when we spoke yesterday at the community meeting. When I think about what happened to Terry and Brenda, if you were to ask me as the chief what things that you can do to keep yourself safe when you go out, they did it. They literally checked all the boxes. They were going out to enjoy a night on Main Street. Anyone going out, we always give the same advice. If you're going to consume alcohol, don't get behind the wheel of a vehicle. So they didn't. They chose to ride their bikes. And if you're going to go out and you're going to be out late at night, don't go it alone. Have somebody with you. So they stuck together as a couple. And yet and still, they were attacked and they were murdered. And this is just a reminder of just the evil that exists in our society today. And that's why this press conference was so important, to just inform everybody that the suspect responsible for this is in custody and the investigation is ongoing. I will take a few questions at this time.
Chief, at this point, can you share, we know we've always felt this was random. Do you still feel that way at this point?
Yes, at this point in time, we still do not have a motive. So at this point in time, it is still a random, senseless act of violence that should have never occurred.
And at this point, do you know if he has said anything, made any admissions?
Oh, yeah, I don't have any of the details as far as what he's saying currently, but we do know he's currently talking to investigators.
Do you know if he'd been in our area prior to that arrival Saturday and leaving Sunday? Do you know, was he seen around town, say, weeks ago? Or?
I think what we were dealing with, because we got so many tips that flooded in, people were calling in of anybody that kind of looked familiar to the suspect or kind of resembled the suspect, but we can't definitively say that he was actually in town prior to Saturday.
Chief, do you know anything about his criminal background or mental health history of the suspect?
I can't comment on his mental health history. I can tell you he has a minimal criminal history. He had 1 felony arrest and 2 misdemeanor arrests. All of them were related to drugs, drug-related charges.
Can you go into any more detail on how you were able to track him down to Orlando? How were you able to find out where he was today?
Out of respect for our state attorney's office and their follow-up investigation, I'm not going to go into those details at this time.
At this point, Chief, I would assume he'd make a first appearance in Orlando?
Yes.
Or would you skip that step and bring him right back here?
He's going to have to go to first appearance over there.
Then extradite?
Yes.
When do you expect him back here, Chief?
I don't have a timeline on it. I don't have a timeline. So, again, most importantly is he's in custody.
Chief, there was a lot of speculation earlier in the week that this man might have some sort of military or weapons training.
Yeah, we still haven't been able to confirm any of his, weapons training or anything about his background.
Can you go into any more depth about the kind of evidence that led you to him? He'd been a person of interest. Was there anything else you can share with us that made you realize he's not only our person of interest, he's our suspect?
Right. I think I mentioned in days prior about the massive amount of surveillance video that we received. And I can just tell you that just reviewing all of that surveillance video, it kind of painted a picture for us to where we were able to determine that he was our suspect. And I want to thank our state attorney's office as well, because like I said, he's already been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. So, thank you guys.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you, sir.
I know it's going to be sad and I know it's not going to be complete, but we know that you can cover those holes and you can make us okay. We just thank you, Jesus.